So in today's discussion board post, I'm going to be talking about Abigail Adams. Abigail Adams was the wife of the second president, John Adams, and the mother of the sixth president, John Quincy Adams. She is most famous for being extremely open-minded on women's rights, and she is one of the most well-read ladies, the first ladies of America. She was also a key advisor to her husband during his presidency. Her father was a reverend, and her mother was actually a descendant from the Quincy family, which is where John Quincy Adams, where his middle name comes from. And so growing up, Abigail didn't have much of an education, and so she decided to get one for herself. So she used her family's library and the resources that were inside and basically taught herself. Clearly, this demonstrates that knowledge was a key element for her, and she used it to educate herself. Not that it was needed, but that she wanted it, and she went after that. John and Abigail were married, and while they were married, their marriage took place during the Revolution, and so they were separated a lot. And so during the separation, they wrote letters to one another. And in one of the letters, I'm quoting her, she said, "Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could." And I think this quote demonstrates Abigail's courage and her fire and her passion for women's rights. And the fact that she boldly stated it to her husband. She doesn't back down from her feelings, and she lets him know where she stands. And I think that demonstrates for women in America, too, it's a great role model for having that determination. And John Adams, of course, did not take his wife seriously, but later on in their life, he began to value her opinion, and he would come to her for opinions on politics, the society, government, just also, I mean, she's his best friend, so he definitely started to value her opinions later on. Also, her letters give a demonstration of the story of Abigail Adams. So it shows a mother of four trying to teach her kids with little help during wartime. And it also reveals her loneliness because, I mean, she's John Adams isn't anywhere close by, and it's not like he's only a phone call away. And so she refers to him as her dearest friend, and it demonstrates her love for him in her letters. When John Adams was elected president, she took on the role of First Lady and doing entertaining. Martha Washington was one of her friends, and since Martha was the First Lady, Abigail didn't have much to go by, but she took on the role as her own, and she began doing entertaining through dinners and receptions and events and parties. However, the White House was not completed during the time of John Adams' election. So during that, they only were really there for 5 months. During the time she lived in Quincy, Illinois. And so because it was not completed, she complained about it being too damp and cold, especially in the winters, and that affected her too. So she was not there all the time, but when she was there, she definitely took on that role. She wasn't, I mean, it demonstrates that she's not a coward. She definitely fits the part of a leader as the founding father of the Revolution. But she is remembered to be saying, "Remember the ladies and their new laws." She did not back down. She was going to make a stand, and with her presence as John Adams' wife, she could make things happen. And she also opposed slavery as well. She's mostly known for her women's rights, but it's clear that she wanted rights for all. And so I think Abigail Adams is a great person to look up to and kind of be bold. And she demonstrates for faith and what she stood up for, what she believed in. I think anybody can kind of take a note from that. Thank you.